Well, let me state this, that the ones that are actually supposedly, quote unquote, waking up to the truth are like overripe apples ready to fall from the tree, and they have been taking the bait hook, line, and sinker. So let me get on with the point here, though. One of the biggest strategies of the KGB, now known as the FSB, and we have had a foreign power that's been trying to undermine the American way of life for decades, and they have been doing so very successfully. But one of their biggest goals has been to create a feeling of disenchantment, disgust with the system. All hope is just lost, just destroy everything and start anew. Whereas that is not really the problem. They actually have you defeated before there's even any chance of a fight to fight back or oust the freaking criminals that are in the United States. But most of the people that are even slightly awake as to what's going on in the United States, where there's actually problems and real problems, they're like overripe apples ready to fall from the tree. And they're playing exactly into what the Grand Communist Conspiracy has always been about. And, I'm going to put that right to you right here, right from the beginning, because it's alive and well. It's not only alive and well from the opposite side of the world, but it's also alive and well through the Marxists that are in Washington, D.C., and actually in the White House, and his main advisor, who is also an Islamic supporter and a supporter of Sharia law by the name of Valerie Jarrett, besides Obama. But the ones that are actually starting to wake up, they're already victims of massive disinformation. They're already got it in their heads that the West is evil and everything in the West is doing is wrong. Whereas most of the policy, the reason actually, if you look at even the military strength of the United States, the Russians and the Chinese would undoubtedly be exponentially far more aggressive in their foreign and political policies if they had the military might of the American military at their disposal. But they do not. They do not. They do not have the funds, and Russia right now has actually been in a hurt locker recently with, the falling commodity prices. But they have people in the United States convinced, like overripe fruit, that are ready to fall from the tree, hit the ground, and fall on barren ground and just rot. And they have you exactly thinking like they want you to think. Now, I have to tell you that really what it comes down to, people that are thinking like this, that are totally down on the United States and on the West, and they're not realizing that the bigger side of evil is actually on the opposite side of the world, are complete idiots. They're idiots. And they're being led around the nose by this supposed quote-unquote alternative media. And I'm going to tell you right now, the vast majority of alternative media, especially the ones that are making the bigger bucks, they are working and led from the top by the elite themselves. Because the main part of the New World Order agenda is for you to reject the American way of life, its Constitution, and for you to be implanted with the seeds that everything is hopeless. It always has been hopeless. It's always been hopeless even since George Washington, or it's always been hopeless since the Civil War, or since Abe Lincoln, or since the Federal Reserve took over, or whatever. Oh, we never broke away from England. They're always telling you these type of things. You're an idiot for falling for it. Total, complete. I'm just telling you that it's exactly the plan of the KGB or FSB. It always has been the plan. But the Marxists are not just on the opposite side of the world. They're also in Washington, D.C. But your main weapon against them is your Constitution and your Bill of Rights. Those are still the law of the land. And you have the means to enforce the law of the land by the Second Amendment, which is another top priority of the Marxists by the name of Obama and Hillary Clinton and others that are guise themselves as conservative Republicans, and they're full of it because they just let in tens of millions of illegal aliens into this country and gave them amnesty because they are traitors to the Constitution and to the American people. This is a picture, a younger picture, of Major Anatoliy Golitsyn. I've studied his works for, I don't know, I guess few decades now, maybe? Before the internet has been around. People are trying to tell me that I don't know something about something and I don't understand, and it's like I'm being lectured to by a 5-year-old. It's aggravating the hell out of me, for crying out loud. And I am privy to what's going on, and I have been privy to what's been going on for a very, very long time. And in some cases, I've been privy to what's going on a longer time than some of the people who are trying to lecture me have been alive. Major Anatoliy Golitsyn's predictions have been almost dead-on accurate. There's been a very, very, very few of them that have been wrong, but that's what they like to emphasize. But he's had an accuracy rate of about 95%. A decade before the events happened, they happened. He said that the Berlin Wall would come down, the Germans would be reunited. He said that there'd be glasnost in Eastern Europe, a new awakening, a new restructuring, perestroika, solidarity in Poland. And he says the long-range deception of the Soviet Union, which has never really came apart, was to make like they fell apart, befriend the West, get more technology, and then hit the West when the West is weak, especially during a time of financial collapse. That's really we really see. So a problem happened militarily. Now it's quite obvious by the threats of Vladimir Putin over the last several years. If you're totally asleep or what, the guy openly states that we Russia, you're not going to tell the bear what to do, and he's basically reconstructing what he wants again, which is the USSR. He's been KGB all of his life. He's been the head of the KGB, FSB. He's had political opponents murdered. He's part of the main mafia racket of the Russian state. And he's obviously 100% on the plan of what the KGB has been about since day one. He's actually been in Eastern Germany when communism supposedly fell apart or played possum. He was there from all the 80s. Communism actually fell apart in the Berlin Wall came down in November 1989, I believe it was. But he has so many people in the West convinced that he's going to act like their savior. Well, basically what you are is an idiot. A useful idiot. A communist dupe. You are like rotten apples that have already fallen from the tree. I can't put it to you more bluntly than that. The alternative media, for the vast majority of them, and I don't even want to name names anymore because it's pretty much all of them, including anything with the word buzzword change, have always been working part and parcel with the established elite. Their goal is the same as what the KGB's goal always has been. To get you so down in the dumps on the system that you have like a complete hopeless attitude where nothing can ever be fixed ever. And they got you. They got you right there. You're like overripe apples ready to fall from the tree. It's like all they have to do is go up to the tree, shake it a little bit, and you're all done. That's exactly what they've been planning all along, and they're working with the New World Order. The communist conspiracy per se, or the globalist communist conspiracy, is a branch of the New World Order. Period. It is a branch of the New World Order. There are several things coming about, but they're actually far more aggressive than the lethargic couch potatoes. They think they're going to click on a link, get some information, and have all the problems solved, or want to see the problems solved on a cute video. It doesn't work that way. Period. Actually, one of the biggest things that's a stalwart against communism, or creeping communism, is laissez-faire capitalism, entrepreneurship, or what you would call cottage industry. That's actually the ace that's against them. But you know, it requires that dirty four-letter word called work. Work. So I just want to put this out again because actually I want to, you know, people, I have to really state, they're idiots. They're idiots. And it's like I'm being lectured to by 5-year-olds. I'm getting tired of it. I've been getting annoyed with it for a long period of time. I realize what the situation is. I've known about Golitsyn and also Christopher Story, who's been murdered. That was his pen name. I forgot what his regular name was. He was British intelligence. He worked very much with Anatoliy Golitsyn. Also, the U.S. Marine Corps worked with Major Anatoliy Golitsyn. It may be that there's aspects of the military that know what's going on, but don't 100% count on it. You, the people, need to know what's going on. You can't be stooges like overripe apples ready to fall from the tree. When Putin comes along and shakes the tree, you all fall down, and you fall right into his lap or into his trap. Now, I actually want to give you a real synopsis, because I know a lot of people don't like to read a lot, of, you know, this is actually, I'm going to point to the link on this. It was about Major Golitsyn. And this was back in, I guess it was 1993. By 1993, 139 of his 194 predictions that were made in the book New Lies for Old, which was a collection of memoranda to the CIA, which is mainly, it was published in 1984, but the memoranda were basically in the 70s up to 1980. 139 of 194 predictions had been fulfilled by 1993. It goes into the European Union. The European Union was also part of the New World Order, socialism, hardline communism, and everything else. They're all working hand in hand. And the alternative media is in on it, including the biggest names. I already went into enough on these yo-yos, but the point is that get it through your head. This guy's not your savior. Obama's working for that guy. And if you think that the alternative media or they're going to help you, or Putin's going to help you, or these get-rich yo-yos sitting on their freaking asses that do nothing except deride the United States, they're going to help you, you are a total idiot, and you're like an apple that's already fallen from the tree. Putin doesn't even have to shake the tree. For the rest of you that are sitting on the fence, you're like the apple sitting on the tree. Putin or somebody else has to just come along, shake the tree, and you will totally reject the American Constitution, Bill of Rights, and our true way of life, lock, stock, and barrel, because you already have been put down in the dumps where you think the situation is hopeless, and that has been the goal of the KGB all along. All along. And you notice the alternative media, the goal of the alternative media, they never, ever, they always make it look like the situation's hopeless, it's everything in the West, it's everything over here. They're working for the bad guys. They're working for the bad guys in the New World Order in the West, and they're working for the bad guys in the New World Order in the Communist East. That's exactly what's going on. So, I don't like putting out too many of these type of videos, but the thing is, I think I'm about the only one putting out this unique message. Because I'm not agreeing with the major media, and I'm not agreeing with the alternative media either. Well, either one of them. They're both wrong. They're both full of it. And that's exactly the way it goes. So, you know, the only thing is you got to stand on your own 2 feet, and the only way to stand on your own 2 feet is through cottage industry and bearing arms. Period. That's the way it is. Don't be an apple. Be a snake. Don't tread on me. Remember that. That's an old adage that really needs to be just like a snake, ready to strike and hit him in the jugular when they least expect it. And that goes for any of these communists that are trying to freaking take over, which by the name of Vlad is one of them. But we got others in the White House, we got others in the Congress, but you know the problem is? The lethargic people put them in office because politics has become what? Entertainment, Hollywood. It's nothing but media presentations. And that's exactly what this Putin guy is about, too, because horseback riding in Siberia, fishing on the ocean or in the river, shooting a gun in on a target range, doing various poses on naval facilities or naval ships. It's all freaking a game to get you on board with what? A Hollywood presentation. And that's what politics has become. And nothing but a media presentation backed by big money. This guy's got big money. Communist Obama has big money. Communist Hillary Clinton has big money. And the people bite on it hook, line, and sinker. You're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet. That's the only way to fight this type of thing. It's not actually you got to fight it. It's like you got to be independent. When you're independent, you're fighting it all the way. That's exactly how it works. Be independent. Go cottage industry and create your own wealth. Do not get on board with the conspiracy freaks, because that's really what they are in the alternative world. Because the only real true conspiracy has been the one that Anatoliy Golitsyn have been putting forth, and Major Anatoliy Golitsyn has been putting forth for many years. He's been accurate as all hell. He used to work with Jim Angleton of the CIA. He's also said that the CIA had been infiltrated by KGB. You wonder why there's problems with the CIA? It's been infiltrated by KGB decades ago. What happened to former CIA Director Colby with the canoeing accident? You remember that? SEAL team whacked him. That's really what supposedly happened. There's a lot of stuff going on where we got good people in the United States working against bad people in the United States, and we got the problems going on in the CIA, the police, the FBI, and all the other agencies that are in the American government, because they have been infiltrated by the bad guys, and our politics has definitely been infiltrated, and it's because what? The people have voted these clowns back in office every freaking time. So, really, what's the problem? It's idiots. It's idiots. They're like overripe apples that have either fallen from the tree or they're about ready to fall from the tree. And there is the problem.